Okay, so we're continuing making our trough and our dominoes. There's the assembled trough again. You see I put this guy sitting downward like that so it can hook over the table. You can push hard against the table to make it work. I have a square here. You can use whatever tool you want to besides the square to make this square, but it has to be square. It has to be 90 degrees across there. I'm setting the tape measure. Oh, let's turn the other way here. I'm setting the tape measure at 1 7/8, which is right there. It's the big line just short of the 2. That's 1 7/8. I'm setting the tape measure there at 1 7/8, and I'm marking on the end of my board 1 7/8 with a big V. When you're marking, you want to make sure you put your pencil like this and make it pull. Put on the mark and pull once, the mark and pull twice, and it makes a V like that. And the V is pointing to the exact spot you're marking to. Okay. So I'm taking the square, lining it up on that V, just like that, and making a line across both pieces, like that. Okay. This is 1 7/8. Then I'm going down the side like this, lining up with that line I just drew, and marking again. And on this side the same way, marking again. Okay, so now I've got lines on top and on both sides. This is to help me line up my saw for cutting. So I'm going to take this coping saw. Just bought these the other day from San Lorenzo Lumber. They're really cool. It's got a nice fine blade on it. It gives a nice fine cut. It's got a long stroke to it. It's got this really weird thing on it. You probably won't use it much, but it allows you to release the blade and go either direction. This is for getting into corners, like cutting up against the... like cutting up against a wall or something. So here's my lines, here's my saw. I'm setting up to cut. Put my finger right against the line and start just gently going back and forth. Okay? Making sure I stay square with the other line that's here as well. And I started my cut. See that? Now I can drop down to this line here now and do both cuts. Okay? It's important that I'm watching this line down here underneath, so I'm staying straight as well. Okay? You got a big piece here, so if you want to practice in the middle to start with, just practice the cut to see if you can get it to cut straight. Not a bad thing. Okay? You're only actually cutting when you push in, just so you know that. All right. So that's done. I've cut down to the plywood there. See that? That's all I want to do is cut down to the plywood top. I'm going to come over here. I have a piece of my dominoes wood I made for you. It's out of maple. Okay. I'm going to put this wood in the trough now like this. Okay, see it? The wood's in the trough. Line up at this edge right here. Put the saw back into the trough again, into that groove I just cut. Let me adjust that a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to saw. Follow the same cut I just sawed in. Don't get a new one, just the same cut I just cut in. Okay? And I just made a dominoes piece. Just like that. Slide the piece over again. Okay? And cut again. Okay, so you got that? Now, if you're left-handed, you can do this on the left side, over here, okay? You can make your marks, you can cut, you can make the groove, you can make the cut, and then by being left-handed, you can hold this with your right hand and cut with your left, okay, just like that. I made it long enough to do that. If you want to do both directions, that's fine. Later on, we may use this trough to cut other things. That's why I'd like you all to have one if possible. So that's basically how you're making your dominoes parts, okay? Make sure as you're cutting you're not making that line wider, that you're following the exact line you made to begin with. Okay. You're going to make 28 of these dominoes parts. If you go online afterwards, look up dominoes pieces, it'll show you how the dominoes pieces are marked. Okay. How I do it here is I take my dominoes piece I just cut, I lay it crosswise like that. See that? I lay it flush to that side right there and crosswise, and I do a pencil line. Okay? That's the middle of my dominoes. If you want to be real technical about it, you go across from corner to corner. Get a sharper pencil here. Sharp pencil helps. Cross corner to corner like that, and across corner to corner like that. Okay, do the same thing on the other side, corner to corner from the mark to the edge, like that, and mark to the edge, like that. Okay, didn't do that one quite right. Let me get that one right again. It's easier if you lay it on the table, but I'm trying to get this to the camera so you can see it. Okay, so there. Now, with those marks on there, okay, you can mark the center. Let's say I want to mark just make a 1. I can mark right in the center of that, and that would be a 1 dot. Okay. If I wanted to make a 2 dot, I go in halfway in between, like that, and there's 2. Okay, it kind of gives you a little more balance in terms of the look of your domino overall. If I wanted to go 3, I would do the center again, and those 2. See that? That's 3. If I want to do 4, I wouldn't do the center dot. I would do halfway, like that, and like that. Okay, and no center dot. That's my 4. But that's also my 5 now. I have the 5 for that. And then for the 6, you just go halfway in between, like that, and like that. Okay? So those are all the different numbers you can do for the dominoes as you go. Now, to make this sort of permanent, if you have any kind of a wood burner or something you can heat up and burn these little dots in, it makes them quite a bit more permanent. Or if you get a really fine tip Sharpie, and just touch the dots so they kind of soaks in nicely, get each of the dots made. Then afterwards you can also trace the line in whatever you're going to use. If it's the wood burner or if it's the Sharpie, trace the middle line in that. But don't trace these lines. These should be done in pencil, because after you're done, you take a piece of sandpaper and you sand off those lines, and all you have left is the marks for your domino. Okay? So that's how you're making your dominoes. There's your trough. We already went through the assembly process. That's how you cut them to size, and that's how you make them. The next thing we'll be doing is making the box to put the dominoes into. Okay? All right.